Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about HOMEWORX Pineapple Colada. Before I get into the meat of this review, I do always like to be fully transparent. This candle was sent to me in PR by Slatkin & Co. A big thank you to them for sending it to me. They never tell me exactly what I need to say, and you will definitely find that out here in this review, a little bit of a harbinger of things to come. So, this fragrance is not new to me. I did speak about this candle a little bit in last weekend's candle chat. And this fragrance I have had, I want to say twice before. However, both times that I have had this candle previously was in their 4-wick, 18-ounce vessel. This candle that I am reviewing today is in a 3-wick. I believe this is 14 ounces of wax. So a little bit different format. The packaging otherwise looks very, very similar to the previous format that I had. Just like I said, it's a little bit less wax and one less wick. So you can tell that this is one of those like shrink wrap, photographic wraparound labels that HOMEWORX is kind of known for. I actually think that they do their packaging very, very well. I would say that this 3-wick packaging is pretty cohesive with their 4-wick. Like I said, it just looks like a slightly smaller variation of it. But yeah, packaging, nice, looks good here. Let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes of this candle. So the fragrance notes that are listed on the bottom of the candle are fresh pineapple, coconut milk, Madagascar vanilla, and tangerine juice. If you go onto the Slatkin & Co. website, if you click on the description under each fragrance, sometimes they will list more fragrance notes like top, middle, and bottom, and that is the case here. So from the website, I have top notes listed as pineapple, papaya, tangerine, white peach, mid notes of coconut milk, juicy mango, hibiscus blossom, and a base note of sweet vanilla and sugared musk. I do also want to note that the pour date of this specific candle is May 30th, 2024, which is a little bit odd, I would say, for this candle just showing up on the Slatkin & Co. website. This actually was just launched last Friday during their golden hour launch. And this candle does retail for $25. So keep all of that in mind here because we're going to discuss that. So let's just talk about the fragrance overall. The fragrance I actually really, really enjoy. And I'm going to tell you guys, I am not always somebody who gravitates towards pineapple fragrances. That being said, I will say that I think that HOMEWORX does pineapple fragrances very, very well. It's very similar to like a caramel note that I don't always love in all candle brands. I will give it to HOMEWORX that usually when they have a fragrance that has pineapple in it, I oddly enough, sometimes I'm intrigued by it. Whereas other brands, I would kind of turn away from it just because I know that they do pineapple well. This to me is definitely those top notes that you get there of like a pineapple. You get a tiny bit of citrus in there, which is the tangerine, and it's not orange. It's definitely more tangerine. That is another note that I feel like HOMEWORX has done really well. In fact, a candle that I have from them that I have loved was part of their winter collection, their collaboration that they did with Elton John, that Tangerine Palazzo. Oh man, he needs to bring that back because it's a fabulous fragrance. But overall, you guys, I would say that what this candle is saying that it is a pineapple colada is definitely very much an accurate description of what my nose is smelling. It smells very pineapple forward. Again, sweet pineapple, not overly artificial and cloying pineapple. It's balanced out with some of those other fruit notes in it. I do detect some of that coconut milk in the background. This fragrance, like unlike a traditional like pina colada, where you would probably have equal parts that you're smelling of coconut, like a very creamy coconut base mixed with a little hint of pineapple in it. This to me is actually reversed. This is definitely more sweet, juicy pineapple forward, again mixed with the sweetness of some of those other tropical fruits in there. They have juicy mango listed here as a mid note, and I would agree with that. No cat urine note. You guys all know, typically if you have mango and peach in a fragrance, for me, if it's just mango and peach, sometimes it comes across as cat urine, but I'm not getting that at all in here. And then a base of vanilla in this fragrance. It's very, very well done. But I would say that if you like If you like the way that HOMEWORX has done pineapple fragrances in the past, if you've had other pineapple candles from HOMEWORX, you would like this scent. But if you are somebody who is averse to pineapple, just know that yes, it is very much as the name would imply, that pineapple note is very much front and center. But it's very tropical, very fruity, but not artificial to my nose. It's very, very well done, in my opinion. Which is why I was actually kind of glad when they sent this to me in PR, because I was like, oh, I've had this candle in the past and I really, really enjoyed it. But you guys all know one of the things that I prioritize here as a reviewer is that I'm usually prioritizing purchasing new fragrances. So I don't always allocate a lot of funds towards purchasing candles that I've enjoyed in the past just for pure enjoyment. So that's why I know that I liked this candle in the past, and I was like, sure, I'll go ahead and take it off their hands. This fragrance does also blend really well with a lot of other candles currently in my collection. I like pairing it with Bath & Body Works Santorini Coast, big shock there. Kringle Candles Sea Breeze, also another big shock right there. Any fragrance that I feel like is like a very smooth coconut type of scent, I feel like this one pairs really nicely with. Now let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle, because this is where the review is kind of gonna, we'll talk about that. So you can see that I am at about the halfway mark, a little over a halfway mark on this candle. Wicks are performing decently well for me. There's a tiny bit of wick residue. These are self-trimming wicks. I would say that they might want to lean a little bit, but I had this candle lit for a really, really long time yesterday. I want to say maybe like 7 hours. That's way beyond the recommended burn time, but you can tell like the wicks, I didn't trim the wicks this morning before relighting, so they did self-trim. You can probably see like over there a little bit of wax that has still yet to pool out. This candle, I will say, does kind of struggle to achieve that full wax pool. And I will say that I'm actually burning some other fragrances in my house today. So when I am doing that and I know that I have candles to review, sometimes I will light the candle out on my back porch just to like kind of get it going to be pulled out for my reviews. And it is currently 94 degrees outside. So I think that that probably helped pull this candle out a little bit quicker. But I will tell you that this candle, you will probably want to place it in a hurricane if you want to achieve a little bit quicker pull out, because it does kind of struggle to pull out fully, within even 2 hours. I would say it is a 3-wick vessel. Kind of one of the issues that HOMEWORX has been dealing with, I would say, over the last year. And honestly, it would make sense if this is a 2024 pour date, because that was one of the issues that I ran into a lot last year with HOMEWORX. Some of their more recent pours, I'm not running into that issue. Some of the more recent pours are actually burning pretty hot and fast. But anything with like I would say late 2023 up until like I would say the fall of 2024, if you get any candles with those pour dates, just know that you might need to allocate a little bit more time for a complete pull out on the first burn. I would say maybe up to 4 or 5 hours. So just letting you know on that. Strength and throw on this candle. This is also the reason why you might want to put this candle in a hurricane. Unfortunately, you guys, much like a lot of the 3-wick candles that I have had from HOMEWORX, this one just does not get the job done in terms of strength and throw, which I would give this one in a hurricane probably about a 5 in terms of strength and throw. If I place it in a hurricane and I burn it in my closed concept master bedroom, I can smell it decently in there. It's still not smacking me in the face, and it's not a powerhouse. And it's actually a little bit surprising to me that it's not super strong when I walk into the bedroom, because this candle on cold sniff is decently strong. So I would anticipate more. And also because I can compare it to burns that I've had from this candle in the past. I remember this candle in a 4-wick being a pretty strong performer for me when I had it. I want to say I had it 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. When I've had it previous summers, I know that this one has performed well, a little bit stronger for me. So in this 3-wick format, I would say that it is at about a 5 in a hurricane. It's just not going to blow you away. Unfortunately, out here in the open concept, even in a hurricane, the fragrance gets completely lost. I can't really smell it. If I take it out of the hurricane, I did try doing that in my bedroom, like it might be about a 3. Personally, for me, you guys, I find that putting candles in a hurricane amps up the strength and throw usually like 2 points, I would say. So if I know that in a hurricane it's a 5, without a hurricane, it's usually about a 3. That's typically where it's at. A little bit disappointing, I would say. Not a little bit, quite a bit disappointing, I would say, especially for a $25 price point. For $5 more, you can get a 4-wick, and I feel like those go on sale a little bit more. So unfortunately for this candle, I can give it 1 thumb up for the fragrance because I really, really like this fragrance, but 1 thumb down. I can't really recommend it, especially at a $25 price point. And even then, you guys, I think the only way that like you might want to consider purchasing this is if you have a candle lamp. A candle lamp might be able to extract a little bit more fragrance out of it. But this one it doesn't have the oomph that I know that it could have in a 4-wick. Personally, I know I've been on this tangent a little bit. I don't know why HOMEWORX does these little 3-wick, why they're doing this. It just, I feel like why? Like it doesn't really, they don't perform as well as their 4-wicks. And it's just kind of baffling to me. And they're only like $5 less. Like if they were like $10 less, or I don't know. I'm very confused by the marketing strategy of having these 3-wicks. I don't think that they perform very well. And the 4-wicks, I would just say with HOMEWORX, probably just stick with the 4-wicks overall, because I still have yet to have a 3-wick that performs really, really well for me. So those are my thoughts on this candle. Like I said, I did receive it in PR, but I am always going to be honest with you guys what my experience is with it. That being said, you guys, I will continue to burn this one all the way down. This in this format would not be a repurchase for me. But again, if I didn't have a YouTube channel and if they brought this fragrance back in a 4-wick, I would definitely recommend it because I do like the fragrance. It performs way better in a 4-wick than in a 3-wick. Pretty sure I made that clear. So anyways, you guys, even though I don't recommend this candle per se in this format, I would say that if you are shopping on the Slatkin & Co website, I do have a discount code with them. It is Katie's Joyful Life. It should save you 15% on orders over $40. Sometimes when they're running certain sales, it won't combine, but other times it will. So if you are okay with using affiliate codes, it's always there for your purchase if there's other HOMEWORX candles that you are interested in purchasing. But let me know in the comment box down below if you have purchased this candle in the past or if you have recently purchased this one. Again, I know that it just showed up on the Slatkin & Co website. And the other interesting thing that they sent me in PR, but I actually don't really have use for, are they sent me 4 diffuser refills for like their little scent plugs, but I don't have the actual scent plug outlet for this fragrance. So I don't know, maybe I'll pick that up. I don't know, maybe I'll pick that up in another go around to see if I can use those scent plug refills. But overall, you guys, this one is just not going to be a winner for me in terms of the performance. So please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.